Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this important episode of Ignition Time. In an important press briefing today, the White House Press Secretary Jennifer Psaki actually weighed in on stimulus above $2 trillion dollars and, believe it or not, the likelihood of reoccurring stimulus checks. Folks, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This channel is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Super interesting comments from the White House Press Secretary today. We'll start with the public push, the public pressure campaign that's being created by the White House using Vice President Kamala Harris, who is actually being deployed to speak with regional networks and national networks. It was surprising to a lot of people that the Vice President Kamala Harris, there she is, hello Vice President, appeared on local TV networks in Arizona and in West Virginia. Now, this is super interesting and super strategic because guess who's the senator in Arizona? The Democratic Senator Kristen Sinema. Guess who's the senator in West Virginia? The conservative Democrat who wants targeted stimulus checks. Joe Manchin from West Virginia. So there's some strategic moves that are being made by the Biden administration. Let's take a look at a segment with the White House Press Secretary Jennifer Psaki today, where Jennifer said that there was growing consensus that there needs to be more stimulus. There was growing public support for more stimulus amongst the American people. So you can see the Biden administration making a case for more stimulus. Let's roll the tape and hear exactly what the White House press secretary had to say today.
At Wednesday's briefing, I also shared some of the engagement and outreach the White House is doing to move forward the American Rescue Plan. From the president and the vice president on down, that work has continued and accelerated. Yesterday, senior staff spoke again to governors about the challenges they are facing and the importance of relief. Today, National Economic Council Deputy Director David Kamen will meet with the Council of State Governments. The Office of Public Engagement will also brief Black civic groups, anti-hunger and nutrition advocates, and key progressive groups and invite their feedback. These conversations are, of course, critical to building support and moving the president's bill forward. But we also saw evidence this week that the American people overwhelmingly want their elected leaders to work with the president to confront the pandemic and and put people back to work. According to a Monmouth poll released Wednesday, 71% of the American people want Republicans in Congress to work with President Biden. That number is up nearly 10 points from right after the election, meaning the trend of support for working in a bipartisan manner with the president is only growing. Finally, the president is committed to getting relief to working families. Hence, he is also meeting this morning with his members of his economic team, with the vice president and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, for a briefing on the cost of inaction and the impact of a delay in moving forward with a relief package. Millions of Americans don't have enough food to eat, and millions more have lost their jobs. But interest rates are at historic lows, and that means it's the right time to make smart investments. Moody's, a Wall Street firm, has said that we could end up with 4 million fewer jobs this year if we don't act on the president's plan. That's 4 million Americans who could get back to work. And I'm sure they will discuss all of that at their briefing later this morning.
And in the next segment, Jennifer talked about the need to speak directly to the American people and make the case directly to the American people because their strategy is that this will probably create pressure from their constituents, from local residents, from citizens towards their lawmakers who can then come back to Congress and say, all right, let's do this bill. So this is a very in the trenches, very ground up strategy. And decisions aren't being made by two people in a room. So this is a very interesting approach. Let's take a look at this segment from Jennifer Psaki, where she says the White House emphasizes the need to talk directly to the American people. Let's watch.
Well, then Vice President Biden also traveled to a number of states to drum up support for the American Recovery Act at the time. And obviously we weren't dealing with a pandemic, so the circumstances were quite different. But he fully recognizes, as do we, the importance of speaking directly to the American people about the components of this package, whether it's the importance of funding to get schools open or get vaccines in the arms of Americans, or just ensure that people know they can put food on the table. And so we're having to take a number of creative steps to do that, whether that's direct television or local media, or from the president, the vice president, and others. We're doing that, whether it is engaging with governors and local elected officials to ensure that we're answering all of the questions they have and that they can convey to the public. So we're taking a number of creative steps, a little outside of the box. Certainly his preference would be to get on a plane and fly around the country, but that's not the step we're planning currently.
And folks, the third segment is the one that jumped out to me the most. Jennifer Psaki was asked about the possibility of stimulus above $2 trillion because one of the Democrats, Pramila Jayapal, said that $1.9 trillion stimulus should be the floor, not the ceiling. So Jennifer Psaki was asked to comment on the likelihood of stimulus above $2 trillion, as well as reoccurring stimulus checks, which has been pushed by a lot of progressives within the Democratic caucus. Let's hear her response. Very interesting, the word she selected. She basically said it's up to Congress, basically saying, hey, the lawmakers, meaning senators and congressmen and congresswomen, need to make this happen. And if they make this happen, then we are behind it. So essentially saying that it's up to Congress. Let's roll the tape and listen very carefully to important words from the White House.
What does President Biden make of reports that Senate Democrats, including Bernie Sanders, who will chair the Budget Committee, which is chairing the Budget Committee, are planning to expand the use of the budget reconciliation process for legislation that's not revenue, does not directly impact federal revenue, like the $15 minimum wage? Is that something that President Biden is okay with?
Well, the president is going to leave it to Congress to determine the parliamentary process for moving legislation forward, as should be the case. I think it's obviously been broadly reported that there is consideration on the American Rescue Plan of what the path forward will look like and how to expedite moving that forward. And there's an urgency, and we certainly feel that. But our view is that this bill should be bipartisan. 74% of the public support it, and we want Republicans to work with Republicans on fighting COVID and putting the American people back to work. But as we work on this bill, if we are going to, our priority is on getting it through and not on the focus on what the parliamentary process is.
What is his message to progressives who are arguing that the $1.9 trillion relief package should be the floor and not the ceiling? And would President Biden consider pushing a relief bill that is more than $2 million? What about the idea of reoccurring stimulus checks that some progressives are advocating for?
Well, we've seen those reports, and obviously he's had conversations, as our team has, with members of the Progressive Caucus and other progressive members of Congress. And as I've said in here many times before, part of this process is that the president laid out his vision. He is getting feedback. A lot of the focus in here has been members who have said it's too big, but some are saying it's too small. And as a part of the discussion, we have those engagements and determine how to improve the bill and what opportunities there are to do exactly that. So he welcomes their engagement. He welcomes their ideas, but he's put forward his plan, and his main bottom line is that we're not going to break it apart, and the three components of it are pivotal in moving it forward. But the size and the scope of the package, this is the legislative process. This is democracy at work now.
Certainly he has an opinion, and that's very influential in the process. So would he think it's realistic to go above $2 trillion?
Well, again, I think the best place to look for what's realistic is to members of Congress and their whip counts, and I'm sure that the leadership can give you an assessment of that.
And in another interesting segment, everyone, the White House press secretary emphasized that for the Biden administration, for President Biden, the end goal was important, not how we get there. In other words, having stimulus was important, not how it happens, who they have to convince. They are just concerned with the end product, which is what the American people care about. I believe this is a hint that we could see reconciliation if the Republicans don't play ball, because the end goal for the Biden administration is stimulus. However we get there, and the procedure, how we get there procedurally, all the politics that goes on in Congress, all the back and forth, is not really something the Biden administration cares for. And in an interesting comment related to this, Jennifer Psaki said the Republicans should get behind this. So she sort of indirectly maneuvered this and made it into, hey, the Republicans are standing in the way. She did it in a very subtle manner. Let's roll the tape and hear what she had to say.
The president, as you said multiple times, is reaching out to Republicans in an effort to get a bipartisan bill. At the same time, Majority Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi seem to be aggressively moving towards reconciliation. Does the president think that the Democratic leaders' push for reconciliation at this time is hurting his chances to get Republicans on board?
Well, The president's focus is on the end goal of delivering relief to the American people, not the parliamentary procedures, as we've said. And we can't imagine that the 1 in 7 families who are hungry or the thousands who've lost a loved one to COVID care much about the procedure either. So I would flip it the other way to you. I think a fair question you might ask our GOP or Republican colleagues is why they oppose proposals that have the support of 74%, of the American public. And even if this bill moves forward through the reconciliation process, again, a parliamentary procedure, it doesn't mean they can't vote for it. And the president's objective and focus is to continue to have those conversations and pursue a path forward where he can gain bipartisan support. But again, the public, 74% of the public is with him in that endeavor, and their constituents.
And so, folks, those were the highlights of Jennifer Psaki's press conference conducted today. Now, one thing really jumped out to me at the end of the press conference. She actually stood there at the podium and put on a double mask in an effort to send a signal to anybody watching that, hey, this is what we are doing in the White House. Super interesting, folks, because this is completely different from what we've seen from the previous administration, and I do think it's worth observing. She stood there, and look, she's a White House press secretary. She knows what she's doing. She's not going to make mistakes on camera. So she stood there and did something which is putting on a double mask. Let's watch closely, and I want to know what you think. Let's roll the tape.
That remains his commitment, but I don't have any more detail of the call than what has already been read out. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Oh, let me do one more thing. So it's important to me, but also to the president, that everybody know everybody on the press team. So I'm just going to embarrass TJ, who you guys all know, and Kareen, who are 2 deputies in the press office, Principal Deputy Kareen, Deputy TJ, who you all should know, the public should know. They're going to be pivotal faces, and they play an important role. So thank you, everyone. Have a great Friday.
Thank you.
That's it, everyone. Let me know what you think of Jennifer Psaki's comments about the PR strategy, the push for stimulus, the desire to take stimulus directly to the American people, and her comments on Congress being responsible for a stimulus above $2 trillion and potentially reoccurring checks for the American people. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. In case you're new to my channel, check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, I want you to know that on this channel, we focus on politics, we focus on the economy. Now, I want you to understand what's going on in the complex world of Washington, D.C., what President Biden is up to, what House Speaker Pelosi is up to, what the Senate Majority Leader, new Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer is up to, and what the bane of his existence, the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, is up to. I help you understand all the games, all the chess games that get played in Washington, D.C., all the different players in the chess games, including the 4 individuals I just mentioned, because I want you to understand what's going on so you can make sense of the craziness that surrounds us. If you want to get breaking news and alerts from us, simply get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list going forward. You can opt out of the SMS alerts at any point in time that you want. You can also get added to our email alerts list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and then you can get added to our email list going forward. Now, keep in mind that sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time, so all you have to do is simply bookmark our channel, youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. Just bookmark the home page of our channel, and then you'll be able to visit the home page of our channel and watch any of the videos at any point in time that you want, and you're not going to miss a single video. As always, you'll find a link in the description section below to all the resources we use in the creation of the content in our videos, so you can dig deeper into that content on your own. Also, please comment below and let us know what you think. Our community is bipartisan, it's respectful, it's growing very, very rapidly. All I ask from you is that you please give me a like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'll do anything for a like, including show you some of my rather bizarre breakdancing skills. Here they are. Okay, that was it. Those were my breakdancing skills. No, but seriously, I would appreciate it if you can give me a like. That would mean a lot to me. That does help out the YouTube algorithm. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. And you can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. In fact, here's my Twitter feed. You'll see what stories I'm reading. You'll be able to follow the news with me because I retweet in real time. So definitely follow us on Twitter and become a part of our growing community. Speaking of community, please share this video with just 2 friends or family members. I would really appreciate that because all the content on our channel that we provide, the news content, is all free for you to watch. All I ask of you is you please help me grow the community and please share this video with 2 friends or family members. Once again, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. That sets about a confetti-like atmosphere for me because that makes me happy. And my goal for all our viewers and subscribers is as we get through the different crises that are surrounding us now, I want it to be raining money for you. I want you to learn how to make money because that's step 1. Then I want you to learn how to save money. And then the final and the most important step is I'm going to help you learn how to invest money. There are many different playlists on our channel. Check out the Financial Freedom playlist. Check out the Managing Your Money playlist. There are many playlists that will help you understand how to manage your money. Fundamentally, you need to, again, know how to make money, how to save money, and how to invest money. And that's what I'll teach you on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time.